Hello everybody, my name is Noah and welcome to my review of Clash of Champions 2019. I want to say real quick here at the beginning, my super late reviews of AEW All Out and NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff are going to come tomorrow. I'm upload both those tomorrow. I'm still doing reviews of those show, but they're super late and I'm upload them tomorrow. But since this event just happened, I'm gonna do this one now. This was actually an alright show. It's one of those shows where it could go either way because you don't really go in with much expectations. But it was an alright show. I think it was more good than bad. So let's get into what happened. Alright, so 11 matches, all but one were title matches. All titles were on the line. We start on the pre-show. Triple threat match for the Cruiserweight title. Drew Gulak defending against Humberto Carrillo and Lince Dorado. This match got a little over 10 minutes, and it was sloppy at times, but for the most part, it was really good. I feel like this is a really good showcase for Carrillo, because especially since nobody who doesn't watch 205 Live doesn't know who he is, because he's never had any people know who Dorado is because they know who the Lucha House Party is. Dorado is actually really over. They know who Gulak is because he's wrestled on every pay-per-view since he's been champion. They don't know who Carrillo is unless they watch 205 Live, and clearly nobody in the audience did. So this was a good showcase for him, for people who haven't seen him. And it seems like they're pretty damn high on that guy. I mean, his loss to Dorado apparently was like his first loss in months on 205 Live. It might be his first loss ever. So obviously he did not take the pin in this. Overall, it was a pretty good match, but Gulak retained, not surprising. But since Carrillo did not take the pin, I'm guessing they're going to do a rematch between those two at the next pay-per-view, providing 205 Live is still around at that point. Also on a pre-show, this was the shocker of the evening. AJ Styles versus Cedric Alexander. Yep, that's right. AJ Styles and Cedric Alexander for United States Championship was on the pre-show. Why? Don't know. They'd got no time as well. 4 minutes and 55 seconds. AJ Styles had a match under 5 minutes on a pay-per-view on the pre-show. Again, why? Don't know. I really don't know. They did what they could with the time they got. They had a decent back and forth. Cedric came out swinging. He hit like a what was the lumbar check? He hit Falcon Arrow, I think, like just to start the match, and it had some good back and forth. But AJ hit a Styles Clash on the outside. No, he hit a Styles Clash in the ring and he went for the pin, but then pulled Cedric's shoulder up to hurt him some more, and then Styles Clashed him on the outside and then pinned him in the ring, I'm pretty sure. And then, much like with Ricochet at SummerSlam, they just jumped him after the match. So OC continued to dominate. Why was AJ Styles on a pre-show? I don't know. Was it because of Cedric? I don't know. Cedric was, doesn't make any sense though. It was in Cedric's hometown too. He was over as hell. That crowd would have popped huge if he won. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, the start of this event, I want to say, is a little weird. This event picks up as it goes on. But the start of this event is kind of weird in places. You'll see what I mean. So we started with the Raw Tag Team Championships, Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman. This match only went 9 minutes and 40 seconds. Strowman and Rollins controlled most of the match. Near the end, it was Rollins and Roode in the ring, and Ziggler pushed Strowman into Rollins, which knocked Rollins down, and then Robert Roode, I guess it is now, hit the glorious DDT and pinned Seth Rollins. Bobby Roode pinned... Fuck it, I'm just going to combine them. I'll call him Robbie. Robbie Roode pinned the Universal Champion with one glorious DDT. Seth, I kick out of freaking everything Rollins. Lost to one glorious DDT. How about that? That was fucking something. So, yeah, Roode and Ziggler win the titles. Good for them. Hopefully they'll get a good reign with it. It was rumored that Paul Heyman was high on Roode. Excuse me a second. That water didn't help me at all. We were supposed to quench my thirst, and instead it made it worse. What the hell, man? That's not cool. I mean, there's rumor that Paul Heyman is high on Roode. That might be proof of that right there. So good for Bobby. I'm happy for him. Fun fact, Roode and Ziggler are also now they're both two-time Raw Tag Team Champions individually, just not together. Roode had the reign with Gable, and Ziggler had the reign with McIntyre. Both, I think, were last year as well. Moving on, Bayley versus the other hometown wrestler, Charlotte Flair. This match went 3 minutes and 45 seconds. No, I'm not kidding. 3 minutes and 45 seconds. So basically what happened is Charlotte kicked her ass for like 3 minutes, and then Charlotte was stomping her in a corner. The ref pulled her off. Bayley took the turnbuckle pad off and pulled Charlotte into the turnbuckle and then pinned her, and then Bayley ran the fuck out of the arena, and that was it. That was it. So both the hometown people lost, and Charlotte got beat in a title match in under 4 minutes. That's something that happened. Probably something that's never happened before. Might be something that never happens again. Unless you count Bayley's Money in the Bank cash in. She owns 2 wins this year over Charlotte Flair of under 5 minutes. How about that? Moving on, the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. The Revival, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder, who are technically not on SmackDown, versus the New Day, Big E and Xavier Woods, who haven't been on TV in a couple weeks because of Revival-related injuries. And now I think it would have made the Revival look weak if they had lost this, considering how long New Day had been off. And I think they did this really well. They took out, this was probably about 10 minutes, they took out Big E near the end, and they hit the Shatter Machine on Woods and then locked him in a knee submission because he had been, they did the knee injury on him before, and Woods tapped. And the Revival, although they're technically on Raw, are now SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Although, there's a draft coming up in a couple of weeks, and the wildcard rule is going away, and this brand split is officially back on, which I'm so fucking happy about, because I hate the wildcard rule so much. Like, honestly, if you're gonna not do the brand split, just don't do it. Like, either don't do the brand split or do the brand split. I don't like this in-between garbage. I really hate the wildcard rule, so I'm happy it's going away. I'm really happy it's going away. We're getting back to a proper brand split. And I'm guessing Revival will go to SmackDown. And personally, I hope they keep them with Randy, because I really like that dynamic. We'll get to Randy in a little bit. Speaking of Tag Team Championships, let's move on to the Women's Tag Team Championships. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross defend against Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. This was a decent match. Alexa and Nikki are just baby faces now. That's weird. I think this is the first time Alexa's been babyface ever on the main roster. So that's something. They kind of just dropped the Alexa's using Nikki storyline and just turned them face. I mean, fuck it, I guess. This was alright. They had decent chemistry, I gotta say. They got about 9 minutes, they did what they could. Ultimately, though, Bliss and Cross retained. I don't like the fucking gimmick, the angle they're doing where fucking Mandy's basically calling Nikki fucking ugly. It's so fucking grade school. And, like, it's just a Lay Cool ripoff. And that wasn't good either. Like, it's fucking lame. Like, don't ruin fucking Mandy like you ruined Michelle McCool. Like, just don't do it. Anyway, moving on. Shinsuke Nakamura defends the IC title. He's got Sami Zayn at ringside. Versus The Miz. Miz looking to become a record-tying 9-time Intercontinental Champion. Did he? No. This got 9 minutes and 35 seconds. 30 seconds more than the women's tag match. This was a good match. They have decent chemistry. I'd like to see them go a little bit longer. I'd like to see what they can do in like 15 minutes. But I think if they're given longer, I think they could have a really good match. I really do. Sami Zayn did play a factor in this, though, and he ended up distracting Miz, and Miz got Kinshasa'd, so Miz lost. But it wasn't technically clean, so this doesn't appear to be over. I think Miz will be getting a rematch and probably getting the belt at some point. I still think they're gonna hot potato it for a bit. Maybe he'll feud with Shinsuke on and off for a year, like he did with Ambrose at one time. Remember that? Do you remember that when they feuded for like months on SmackDown, and then they both got drafted to Raw and started feuding again, Miz and Ambrose? Maybe he'll do that with him and Shinsuke. But anyway, excuse me. Now, Raw Women's Championship, 20 minutes on the dot. This one got. Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch. This was the best match tonight. These two are... Me and my sister were talking about this. Who's the best wrestler of the Horsewomen? I think... I'm not saying Bayley's a bad wrestler, but I think if we had to choose a worse wrestler of the 4 Horsewomen, it's obviously Bayley. Personally, I think Charlotte's the best. And I think Becky and Sasha are kind of tied in the middle here. Like, they're both just tremendous. And, I mean... This was on par with that match they had in NXT TakeOver, like 4 years ago or something like that. It was a tremendous match. Unfortunately, it had a non-finish, but I guess it's okay because Sasha got a chair, and then Becky got the chair from her and hit the ref. And, and then they just kind of brawled throughout the arena. and then just randomly on commentary they said, "Oh yeah, Becky's been disqualified." So okay, but then Becky eventually they fought all around the arena. Becky got her back in the ring and beat the crap out of her, put her arm for the chair, and put the disarmor on her. So Sasha technically wins by disqualification, and I believe they're going to. It's already official. They're going to have a Hell in a Cell rematch at Hell in a Cell. So that'll be fun, and I'm pretty sure Sasha's going to go over in that one. But this was good. They didn't necessarily need to do the title change yet. I thought they were going to. I'm not gonna lie, I thought they were going to, but they didn't necessarily need to do it. So I didn't mind it on fish. I think it's good. Up next, Kofi Kingston versus Randy Orton. This was the longest match of the night for WWE Championship, 20 minutes and 50 seconds. It was all right. I mean, it was better than their SummerSlam match. I don't know. I guess I just felt like they'd have better chemistry in this. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't a bad match. It was a lot better than their SummerSlam match. And I thought it was good. But it was a good match. But I don't know. I just thought maybe they'd have better chemistry in this. That's just how I feel. But not much to say about it. It was, Orton's methodical style. Kofi gets his comeback. They basically, it's their SummerSlam match. Their SummerSlam match was allowed to go a little longer and have a finish. The finish was Orton went for the RKO, or hit the RKO actually, and Kofi got his foot on the ropes, and then Orton went for the punt, which he's not allowed to do anymore for some reason. Why did they ban the punt? How come Seth Rollins gets to do the curb stomp again, but Orton can't punt people? Like, if Rollins can stomp people, Orton should be able to punt people. But he missed the punt, and he got hit with Trouble in Paradise, and Kofi wins clean. So is this over, then? Because I think it's over. Like, because we're going to have 2 Hell in a Cell matches at Hell in a Cell, and they're both already booked. So, I mean, this is not going to get a Hell in a Cell match, although you could argue the feud deserves it. The feud's been excellent. The match has been a little bit underwhelming. Again, this one was a lot better. But I guess it's over? What happens with Kofi now? I don't know. Personally, I'd like to see McIntyre, but here's the thing. I still love Kofi as champion, and I'm so fucking happy he's had the belt this long. I never dreamed that he would actually get the belt this long. I legit thought when he won it at Mania, he was going to lose it back like 2 days later on SmackDown to Bryan. That's what I thought was going to happen. So I'm so happy he's been able to have it for this long. But if we're putting him up against McIntyre, I'm going to need McIntyre to win. I'm going to need Drew to win that. And I think Drew would be a good person to take the belt off him. Up next, Eric Rowan versus Roman Reigns. This match, people weren't really talking about the match, talking about what happened at the end of the match. But as a match, this wasn't bad. They took full advantage of the no disqualification stipulation, and Eric Rowan actually held his own in this. You'd figured Rowan would get better in the ring after spending most of the last year with Daniel Bryan, who people underrate this. They always talk about Omega or Rollins or Okada, but you could make a legitimate argument that Daniel Bryan is the best wrestler in the world. You really could. Especially if you're saying not just wrestling skills, but from an overall standpoint, factoring in the mic skills as well. You could make a legitimate argument Daniel Bryan's the best wrestler in the world, I think. So, I mean, obviously hanging out with a guy like that for the past year, maybe probably getting a chance to train with him and watching him wrestle, you'd think Rowan would get better. And he did. He is a lot better. He looks a lot better. They fought all around the arena, much like Becky and Sasha did, except it was actually a match. It was actually a match. What they were talking about at the end is Roman got revenge. He hit Rowan with the camera, the swinging camera, and that's what Rowan did to him on SmackDown. Then he was going for a spear on the ramp and got clotheslined by Luke fucking Harper. They finally let Harper come back and do something. The Bludgeon Brothers are back. Harper gave him the discus clothesline. Rowan gave him the claw again. And Rowan beats Roman Reigns. Not clean, although, I mean, it's a no disqualification match, so it's not like it goes against the rules. But, not technically clean, but Eric Rowan beats Roman Reigns in 17 minutes, 25 seconds in the co-main event of the pay-per-view. Okay, good for Eric. Really happy to see Luke Harper. He's skinny as shit. He looks great. So I think this confirms really my theory that they're gonna turn Daniel Bryan face, and I bet you what they're gonna do at Hell in a Cell is Bryan and Roman versus Harper and Rowan. I bet you that's what they're gonna do, and I'm all for that. That could actually be a really good tag match. Anyway, main event time. Seth Rollins versus Braun Strowman, Universal Championship. This did not go that long, about 11 minutes. Basically, Strowman dominated most of it. Rollins Did he did the spot with the announce table again where he put him for? I think he didn't he. Frog Splash him for the announce table. I think so. They did something with the announce table. Strowman might have put him for the announce table. I don't actually remember. They did something with the announce table. But this only got 11 minutes, and basically it was around Strowman trying to hit the running power slam. I guess they protected his finish because I don't think he hit it at all. And he actually kicked out of 3 curb stomps. Again, the second person ever to kick out a curb stomp total, and he kicked out of more curb stomps than Lesnar did. And then got beat with the 4th. Oh no, he hit 3 curb stomps, then he hit a pedigree, then a 4th curb stomp, and Rollins beat him. I don't like that just because, once again, the monster Braun Strowman gets fucked in a title match. He's lost every Universal title match he's ever had. He's lost to Lesnar like 3 times. He's lost to Rollins, it's every time. And I really would have liked him to win the match. But again, it's not what's happened in the match we're talking about what happened after the match and how the show ended. Rollins was posing on a ramp. Then all of a sudden, lights go out, and here's Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, and attacks him, puts the mandible claw on him to end the show. And at Hell in a Cell, in a Hell in a Cell match, it's going to be the Fiend versus Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship. Bray has to win. He has to win, because if Bray loses to Seth, holy shit, imagine the backlash. You could argue this is too early for Bray to be going for the title, and I kind of agree, but at the same time, with how much Bray has been fucked over from the last 5 years, I think he deserves this. Personally, I think he deserves the belt, even if it is too early. So I don't really have that much of a problem with it. My only worry is there's no way Rollins is going to beat him, right? There's no possibility that it's going to happen. I would fucking hope not. I would really hope there's no possibility of Seth Rollins beating him. I'm scared. I'm really, really scared because Bray has to win. And I'll tell you what, the internet turned on Rollins early in the year. I personally haven't. I still love Seth. But the internet turned on Rollins over the early in the year due to his comments on Ambrose and the Twitter thing of Ospreay, which people took way too seriously. When in reality, I think it was all just banter, pretty obviously, but people took it way too seriously. But the crowd's been turning on Seth recently, too. He got booed after he beat Strowman. He got booed on Raw when he called himself the best wrestler in the world. He called himself the best wrestler in the world on Raw, and a crowd chanted AJ Styles and Okada and CM Punk. If Seth Rollins beats The Fiend, he's going to get some Roman Reigns type heat. I never thought Seth Rollins could get Roman Reigns type heat, but he's going to. If he beats The Fiend, it's going to happen. The crowd is going to completely turn on Seth Rollins. And to be fair, I think it's about time Seth to turn heel. For Seth to turn heel, he's been face over 2 years. 2017 face run was kind of weak. His 2018 portion where he was the IC champion was awesome. But then this year's been kind of it's time to turn him heel again, I think. But Wyatt has to win. But that is the next show. Tomorrow, I'll be posting my late reviews of AEW All Out and NXT TakeOver UK TakeOver Cardiff, so watch out for those. Hell in a Cell is on October 6th. Jeez, that's coming up. That's in 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks from 2 days ago. Huh. Jesus. So yeah, currently scheduled event is the 2 Hell in a Cell matches. Lynch versus Banks for the Rollins Championship, and Rollins versus Wyatt for the Universal Championship. Those should both be pretty damn good Hell in a Cell matches. Hell in a Cell was great last year, aside from the non-finish at the end of the show with fucking Lesnar. But it had that brutal shit Hardy Orton Hell in a Cell, which I still haven't watched back because of that fucking spot where fucking Orton puts his screwdriver through his ear. But that's my review of Clash Champions. I thought it was a pretty decent show. I'm gonna give it. I'll give it a 7.5 to 8 out of 10, somewhere around there. I think it was a really good show. It was better than it had. It was one of those shows where there's no expectations, and I think it pretty much delivered. I enjoyed it. But that's going to do it for my review of Clash Champions. I hope you guys enjoyed it again. I'll check back tomorrow for those late reviews of All Out and TakeOver Cardiff. That's going to do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, be sure to like it. If you didn't like it, then don't. If you want to follow any of my social media links, they're all in the description. Thank you to all 22 of my patrons who are currently named in the description for helping supporting me and both my channels. I appreciate you guys. With all that being said, my name is Noah Taft. This has been my review of WWE Clash of Champions 2019. I will see you guys next time. Bye.